Just go in hot. What are we eating today?
Okay, so today we are eating kimchi, which is a Korean staple. I mean, it is honestly, I know maybe stereotypic that we're choosing one of the most popular Korean items that maybe everybody even knows or has heard about, but probably a lot of people have not tried. And so, I know a lot of Koreans eat it every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I think it was only fitting that we chose this one as our first episode food item.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard a rumor. Not a rumor. Just I heard a thing that Koreans start eating this at like kindergarten. Do you know if that's true? Can you corroborate?
I would
No.
say so. I mean, honestly, I've tried to get my kids to eat it, and
Kindergarten seems so young.
they're under kindergarten. My kids are 4 and 2.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I
I didn't start eating spicy food until like I don't know, much later in life comparatively. So
I mean, there's different levels of it. Honestly,
Jerry's
it's
1 year
not.
old.
Yeah,
Get out of
hon-
here.
it's there's different levels of spice. I mean, when I was
Oh,
at the store looking, it has mild, medium, hot, and on top of that, I know there's hundreds of different varieties of
I
kimchi. I
see
mean,
that mine now says classic mild.
see,
Okay,
there you go.
makes me
So I
feel.
I
mean,
don't have a heat sensor on mine, so
Can't test if it has
maybe
COVID.
that just means it's more
regular.
authentic,
We're just calling
actually,
it
and not
regular.
made. And it's not made for Caucasians. So-
So good
it's like
luck.
it's like salsa does it. We might as well put one on there for them too. So, but,
Amazing.
I mean, yeah. So the one I found is not even a very Korean name at all. It's just the Mommy Boss. And I just thought that was a really funny name and logo. It's very cute. So it has a cute little label. It says healthy and fresh. I don't know. It looks tasty. So that's the one I bought at the store. I almost went with a different brand, but they also had one which, and again, like I said, there's hundreds of different types of kimchi, and there's one of my other favorites, which is a cucumber kimchi. So I got that
Yes.
one just as a for my own little
Is
take that
it
I'll
so
have.
many? Is it so many different kinds, or is it always just fermented, like spicy fermented, like vegetables, or is it cabbage specifically? And then there's like you can put other things in there. I guess I've always just kind of wondered about that.
I mean, cabbage is the most common kimchi, but like as you can see, the one with
Right.
cucumbers is still
Yeah,
called kimchi. It's just cucumber kimchi.
that one's
And
my
then
favorite.
and
Like,
there's a soup kimchi, so it's actually like a soup with liquid and a little. There's two different types: one that's clear and one that's got some color in it, some of the spice. If you go to Korean restaurant, they'll have the radish, so the
Oh
kimchi
yeah.
radish as well, the little cubes. Uh,
Hmm.
Kimchi. I mean, honestly, like I said, you look on the internet. There's hundreds of types, but yeah, the Napa cabbage is the most common one, and I've loved it ever since I had it. But I've always loved pickled things. I think for me, I like pickles, so I was gonna try kimchi.
yeah, I definitely did not like pickles when I was younger. I went to Korea when I was in middle school, and that might have been my first experience with kimchi.
Okay.
And that was not for me. At that time, I was not eating spicy food, which was much dismaying for my family because they were like, "You don't even like salsa?" I was like, "No, it's too spicy. I can't do it. But I'll eat the chips all day." So I didn't like pickles. I didn't like pickled things. I didn't like spicy things. So kimchi was just a big no-no. But I ate it because I was in Korea and I wanted to try all the things. And it was cold, and I did not expect that because it's just for me,
Mhm.
hot and spicy always go together. So like cold and
Yeah.
spicy was not. It was a weird thing for my 12-year-old body to experience. But now I've really come to love it. And actually, as of recording this podcast just this morning, I made myself kimchi fried rice because I didn't have anything else.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's
it's good.
something I've seen a lot more often too. Is that not kimchi is just the side, banchan, dish that you eat at the beginning. It's made in things like fried rice, omelets. I have a scallion pancake that has kimchi in it. It's being used in a lot of other things that are not just by itself, which I think is really cool. So that might be a good way of trying it first if anybody was hesitant on trying it just plain straight out of a jar. But
I'm diving
um,
right in that jar. I'm diving
yeah.
right into that jar.
You've had
I
it
have.
before,
I
right?
thought I had it, but I don't know. I think I might have been thinking of something else, and I really don't know what that was that I was thinking of.
Oh, this
So
is so exciting. So you got
yeah,
your kimchi from Target, right?
Target
Yeah.
Kimchi. I
Which
got
is
the
means it's
What is
amazingly
your brand
accessible.
again?
Soul brand,
Soul brand. I've heard of that brand
raw and
actually.
healthy.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
grandma's kimchi recipe with fresh Korean chili peppers, ginger,
Nice.
garlic, and bottled fresh. So I'm ready to get
Nice.
the bubbly zing of healthy probiotics. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, yeah. So real quick, mine is Gangnam Kimchi. which came from the Korean market here in Springfield. It's the one that I found that was the size that I want because it comes in like 40-gallon buckets, and I was like, I'm not that Korean, so just a salsa jar is all I needed.
Oh,
So yeah,
Yeah.
so there that is.
they
I'm friends with somebody on Facebook who has been posting pictures of the same jug of kimchi just slowly going down, and then it was like half full, and then one day later it was all gone. I was like,
No,
no.
I was like, excuse me,
Whoa. Like I
we're
said,
not
every
having
meal,
parties right now.
every meal, man.
okay.
No, when I was at the Korean market, I mean, there was a whole section. It's like it's larger than the dairy section at a regular grocery store, and this is a section just for kimchi. On top of that, I'm a part of a Korean Facebook group that actually is Korean cooking, and people were talking about kimchi refrigerators, which I thought was really interesting because kimchi is so pungent and has such a smell to it that you don't want to keep it in the refrigerator because the smell could leak out to the other food in your refrigerator. So they have specific refrigerators just for kimchi. I'm like, wow,
Nice.
that's dedication. So it's
Mine says to keep
All right.
refrigerated, so sorry, my other groceries.
Same. Dude, same.
all right. Let's eat it.
Are we doing this?
All right. Just eat it because
Oh, man.
I love it, but I'm curious to try this brand.
Woo!
And so
I'm immediately hit by what's that smell?
yeah, I know.
Which I forgot, but it's just so
Pungent.
concentrated in the jar.
So
Mine is overflowing.
oh, nice.
Oh,
That's probably a
yeah.
good thing.
Mine had a big sticker that said "bubbling may occur," so
Yeah. So
don't spill it on your
That
pants.
tastes amazing. Just the fermented juice. I licked it
Yeah.
off my hand. That tasted great.
I think as a kid, the reason I didn't have it the first time was because it was called fermented. And I think in my mind, I think fermented just seemed weird to me. But if they had just said pickled, like if it was pickled vegetables, because I loved pickles, but they didn't call pickles fermented, it's I think they just needed to say something different to me that would make me try it at a younger age.
I'm not
But
even going
now,
to use
yeah.
this fork. I'm going to use my hands and just eat these top pieces off the top.
So
Nice.
two
Okay,
of
yeah.
us are eating it with authentic metal chopsticks, whereas Patrick is eating it with a metal fork. So,
Nope.
but
Using
to
my-
each their own. Oh, I'm just gonna
My natural
just-
chopsticks. These hands, baby.
And I've
I'm just
never
gonna
actually
say-
thought.
This is actually
Uh,
great. I was really worried about trying this, and this tastes amazing.
Yeah.
I'm reverting
Honestly-
back to my 12-year-old self. I don't know if I could eat this on its own. As a side dish, I love it. In stuff, I love it. On its own, don't love it.
A lot of the time when I've had it, I like having it with rice.
Right.
So I like the going back and forth from spicy to kind of just a bland, sticky rice. But
I think I need that because this is a little hard for me.
If I could put this on some rice right now, heaven. Let
Yeah.
me get some rice.
so I also bought the one that had the cucumber just because I wanted to try some of that. I haven't had that in a while, and that's pretty good too. I really like the cucumber. It's not like a pickle. It's a little. I would say it's mushier than a pickle. Pickles sometimes are crispier, and this one's just kind of more of a maybe again it's not fresh, but it's in a jar. So
Okay,
I like that.
I wonder if it's the Target brandness of it that's making me like it so much.
Again, there's a lot of different kinds. I've seen ones that are less red that have less of the chili pepper flakes in it. So gochujara, I believe. We're gonna be butchering Korean words, I think, on this show. So one of the things that I keep looking up and seeing all these words, I'm like, I don't know if
take
I'm
them,
pronouncing that right.
take them to the back and just chop them up.
Notice
Yeah,
I haven't said a single Korean word.
But yeah, this you can tell some are more red than the others.
Yeah.
This is
have
pretty
seen a
liquidy
variety.
too. I feel like mine isn't as liquidy as I expected.
And
Got
I
a
also
real
read
soupy
the
consistency.
I also read that that also depends on the region too. Some areas of Korea have more liquidy, and some areas are more salty and pungent.
All right, so maybe I'm just not cut out for the Gangnam region. I like Gangnam Style by Psy, but not your kimchi as much. So
Well, keep
at me,
cooking
Gangnam area.
cooking it in things. Throw it in some soup. Throw it in your rice. Fried rice,
Yeah.
kimchi fried rice is great. So,
I don't know
yeah.
that I could really. What? Okay, Jerry probably holla at me if this is wrong, but kimchi soup is kimchi jjigae, right?
Jjigae. Yeah.
Right?
So-
Is that familiar to you? I
Yeah.
feel okay. Here's the deal. So I go to a Korean restaurant. I've had Korean food before. I eat a little bit more than just the basic bulgogi and bibimbap. But then I go and like I look on the list and it says kimchi jjigae, and I'm like, I know what kimchi is, and I don't like it enough for it to be the main flavor of a thing. And then the picture is just like stew, and I'm like, I don't know that I want. I know I said earlier that like cold spicy was weird, but I don't know that I would want hot spicy kimchi either. But if you're into that, when you go to a Korean restaurant and it's like doing its best to be authentic presenting, or it actually is authentic, then jjigae might be the word that you're looking out for. Um, Side note, do y'all's noses get sweaty if you eat spicy food, or is that just me?
It
No,
depends
I just
on how
just
much
the
and how
spice.
spicy it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
definitely if it's really spicy. Luckily, I have not found a kimchi that is too spicy for me yet. And I almost, because when I said that at the store there was mild, medium, and hot for this one,
yeah,
I almost bought the hot just to see if I could take it, and I think I would be able to because I can take some pretty hot
That's what I
spices.
want. I love the heat. Give me that
Yeah,
heat.
okay.
and
See,
I mean
I feel
compared
like
to
I've
Thailand and the food there, like I've had some really hot stuff that made me almost die. I feel
I've come a
so.
long way since I was a young kid, but this classic mild is making my nose sweat. So
Oh, well,
maybe
there you
chill.
go.
I
Maybe
know
it's
it's
good.
hot and spicy if my pores on my forehead open up to the size of manhole
Oh,
covers
yeah,
and I
okay.
just drenched in sweat. Just drenched in sweat.
Perfect. So that
I
was
love it.
kimchi. Patrick, wait,
Yeah.
had you had this before, or is this your first time eating
I,
kimchi?
I think it is my first time for real.
Wow.
Wow.
This is great. I want
Welcome.
to try that cucumber
Patrick's
though.
gonna go to Target and get kimchi more often.
I know I should have bought the one of the two, the second jar that they had. They only had two left, so I only bought one.
Wow, hot demand in
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
So I also heard that there are some kimchis that aren't as fermented, so that are just more fresh,
Hmm.
made fresh.
Hmm.
So maybe those are less pungent and also, um, I don't know, just crispier probably. But I'm actually curious now. As I said, I love to cook, so kimchi might now be on my list of things to make myself. I've never tried it, so
I keep eating this. I'm
Dude,
gonna
go
shut it
nuts.
now. I'm gonna shut it.
It's really great with day old rice if you just make your own fried rice.
yeah, mix it in with stuff. Honestly, I think
I can't
that's the
wait to
best
take
way.
this and eat it at work, and people be like, "What is happening?" Kimchi,
Yeah. And they'll
baby.
be like, you'll hear your coworkers be like, what's that smell? And be like,
Yeah.
I've made it as an Asian American. That's how you know.
So
That's me.